You ever hear the phrase, "Don't poke the bear"? Well, in my neighborhood, that bear was me. And the HOA especially. Karen Reynolds, our self-appointed president, just couldn't resist prodding day after day until one evening she called the cops on me for building a fence on my own land. Yeah, you heard me right. Cop sirens the whole block out watching. Only in America, right? That's how it started, the sound of sirens slicing through the calm evening air right as I was mid-hammer swing on my half-finished fence. Heart pounding, I glanced up and there they were. 2 patrol cars, blue and red lights painting my yard. And Karen across the way with her arms crossed, lips pursed so tight you'd think she'd just licked a lemon. "That's him, officers," she hollered, waving her phone around like a trophy. "He's destroying HOA property. That fence marks our boundary." I dropped the hammer, wiped the dust off my jeans, and tried to breathe. "Ma'am, one of the officers started, we got a call about property damage. Can you explain what's going on?" Before I could get a word in, Karen started up again, louder, arms gesturing. "He's trespassing. He's tearing down our fence. I told him that fence belongs to the HOA. She glared at me like I'd robbed a church. The younger officer turned to me real calm. "Sir, is that true?" I couldn't help but smirk just a little. "Actually, officer, I think you'll want to see this." I reached in my pocket and pulled out an old yellowed survey map, protected in a plastic sleeve, because I'd learned the hard way never to trust the word of a self-declared HOA queen. Karen's face shifted from smug to confused to just plain scared as I handed over the survey. But before anyone could study it, there was a sharp crack. The center post of the old fence split and fell. Not on my side, oh no. It crashed straight into Karen's prized flower bed, splintering roses, crushing her precious mulch. Underneath the dirt parted just enough to reveal a metal survey marker, one that according to all the maps shouldn't have been there at all. The older officer crouched down, brushing dirt away. "Wait, this might actually be the boundary." You could hear a pin drop. I felt my pulse thud in my ears, thinking if this marker's real, Karen's world just came crashing down harder than that fence. But just then the officers got an urgent call, something bigger than our little neighborhood drama. "Don't touch the fence till we get back," the older one said before they both hustled off. Karen shot me that look, the one that I'm winning and you know it look. But deep down, I knew this was just getting started. Let me back up a sec. I'm Mark Davis, retired Air Force colonel, now living a quiet life. At least that's what I thought I'd bought when I grabbed 2 acres by the lake. I wanted peace, nothing fancy. Bought this place right next to a sagging, creaky old fence that had stood longer than most of the houses around here. That fence, let me tell you, it leaned like an old man with arthritis, and every time the wind picked up, it sounded like the ghosts of 100 angry neighbors. I never cared much about it until Bruno, my Labrador, almost slipped through a gap and into HOA territory one morning. I wasn't about to spend my weekends chasing him through Karen's fiefdom, so I decided to fix it up myself. Thought it'd be easy. It never is with folks like Karen around. Now, Karen Reynolds, she lived right across that fence. Tall, thin hair sprayed so hard it could stop a bullet. Her little white poodle princess was always yapping at Bruno, and Karen was always yapping at me. First time I met her, she asked if I'd be joining their HOA. I said, "Sorry, ma'am, my lot's not included." Her smile vanished so fast you'd think I'd insulted her ancestors. From that day on, every time I mowed the lawn or washed my truck, there she'd be just checking the mail. You know the type. Nosy, persistent, and dead set on making sure everyone fell in line. That Saturday morning, I'm sweating, sun beating down halfway through fixing panels when she strolls up, oversized sunglasses, pink blouse, arms crossed. "What do you think you're doing?" she demanded, as if I'd been caught spray painting her garage. "Fixing the fence, Karen," I said plain as day. "That's HOA property. You need board approval." I kept hammering. "Board doesn't have jurisdiction over my land." She huffed, turned beet red, and stormed off. I told Bruno, "Don't worry, buddy. She'll cool off." I was dead wrong. Next thing I know, cops. Karen's right behind them, clipboard in hand, hollering about criminal damage and trespass. That was the moment I realized the fence wasn't just wood and nails. It was the line between everything I owned and everything Karen wanted to control. After the cops left, I did what any stubborn man would. I dug deeper. That night, flashlight in hand, I examined the old survey marker under the splintered post, stamped with the county seal, dated 1972. Real deal. I texted my buddy Mike, a surveyor sent him photos. He replied instantly, Mark, that's an original county boundary. Don't move it. That means the HOA's been sitting on county land for years. Suddenly, this wasn't just Karen's word against mine. I drove to the county records office. Place smelled like moldy paper and bureaucracy. Showed the clerk my documents, got a roll of maps. Sir, anything south of that fence is county property. HOA jurisdiction starts 10 feet north. That 10 feet turns out for a decade the HOA had been collecting dues and bossing around folks who didn't even owe them a dime. When I got home, there's Karen again with a lawyer, this time slicked back hair, fancy suit, leather folder. Mr. Davis, you're in violation of association policy, he started. I handed him the county files. Watched his confidence turn to panic as he read, lips moving, sweat beading on his forehead. Karen's face went pale. Her whole empire, her rules, all built on a line she never even owned. Next day, the county surveyor shows up, official metal detector, orange flags, the works. Karen's right behind him, still trying to talk her way out. Surveyor checks the marker, confirms it, fences on county land. HOA starts nearly 10 feet north. For a moment, Karen was speechless, and honestly, that might have been a miracle. You'd think that'd be the end, but you don't know Karen. She doubled down, hired private guards, sent maintenance men, tried to intimidate me, even forged a county permit to rebuild a new fence further onto my land. Every time I pushed back, she pushed harder, bringing in contractors at night, trying to move markers, sending men to dig up evidence. Twist is that's when things turn dangerous. Not just annoying criminal. Caught 2 men at dusk with shovels by the marker, recording them on my phone as evidence. Karen, standing at her mailbox, arms crossed, called out, "They're just checking the soil, Mr. Davis." I told her, tampering with a government marker's a felony. She tried to laugh it off until the sheriff's deputy showed up and served her with a cease and desist. But the real shock came when the county investigators dug into the HOA's records, found emails between Karen and a developer, Victor Lang Lakeside Construction. They'd been plotting to annex properties, forge boundaries, and expand HOA control, all to jack up property values and flip the land. My land was just the start. That night, Karen showed up at my door, eyes red, hands shaking. "They're coming tonight," she whispered. "The developers. They think I betrayed them." I looked down the road, headlights, 2 trucksmen unloading posts and lumber, ready to build their own reality before the county could stop them. I grabbed my phone, started recording, yelled at them to leave. One big guy sneered, "Not for long, old man." Bruno growled, and the tension was thick as smoke, just as things looked like they might get ugly sirens. The sheriff arrived, cuffed the men, and took Karen's statement. The developer Lang wasn't far behind, calling me at home, offering hush money, then threatening lawsuits, then worse. And here's the twist nobody saw coming. Files started vanishing from the county office. Survey documents, incident reports missing. Lang had friends in high places pulling strings, erasing evidence. But I wasn't about to let it go. I called in an old service buddy, Tom Harris, now a state investigator. Sent him everything, emails, video backups. As the net tightened, things got scary. A car tried to run us off the road one night. Karen and I, both inside Bruno, barking like mad. Managed to lose them, but the message was clear: give up or else. We didn't. Instead, we went to the state office, handed over the data, and while Tom uploaded it to every news outlet in the state, Lang's men tried to set the building on fire and ambush us in the hallway. I fought them off, one with a chair, Bruno with his teeth, and we made it out just as the fire trucks rolled in. Tom made it too, coughing but grinning. "It's over," he wheezed. "Lang's finished." The news broke that night, front page, every network. Developer and HOA corruption uncovered. Lang was arrested, company dissolved. Half the HOA board resigned or vanished. Karen moved away a month later, finally free of it all, maybe for the first time in her life. As for me, I rebuilt the fence myself, one board at a time, not because I had to, but as a reminder, some boundaries are worth fighting for, and not all fences are meant to keep people out. Sometimes they protect us from the real crooks, the ones wearing ties and smiles. So tell me, where are you watching from? Ever tangled with a Karen or an HOA gone wild? Drop your story in the comments. Let's hear how you handled it. And if you think justice still matters in this world, share this saga and let the world know some folks don't back down no matter how loud the sirens get.